Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Shannon Ogden with the latest from Denver 7. A robot voice reading a 2,000-page bill shut down pretty much all work in the Colorado State Senate today. That's exactly what Republicans hoped would happen when they demanded the bill be read in full. And Republicans admit that part of the reason for that stall tactic is the red flag bill, which would allow a judge to temporarily remove guns from someone in the midst of a mental health crisis. Right now, there are 8 counties that have sanctuary resolutions. There they are in red. Now, many other communities, including Douglas County, are considering similar resolutions. And Republicans also expressed disapproval with the Democrat-led push to repeal Colorado's death penalty. The Senate was supposed to hear that bill for its first reading today. Instead, they'll hear it tomorrow. The robot started reading. That's what happened instead. So Denver 7 already has taken a 360 look at the death penalty, speaking with State Senator Rhonda Fields, one of the few Democrats against repeal. Her son was murdered, his killer sentenced to death. We also heard from a district attorney who wants voters to decide the issue, and we spoke to supporters of the repeal, including Denver's Archbishop, who believes life is sacred and people can change. I encourage you to watch our 360 report. You can find it right now on thedenverchannel.com. And now we'd like to hear your thoughts on the death penalty, on the Second Amendment, and on the robot reading the bill today at the Senate. Email us whatever your thoughts are, 360@thedenverchannel.com. I promise you we read every single one of them. You can also send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. The husband involved in the Fatal Attraction murder from the 1990s is getting out on parole next year. Brian Hood was in prison since his mistress killed his wife. Jennifer Reale said Hood convinced her to kill, claiming it was God's plan. Well, Reale was released on parole last year, died shortly after that. Hood was busted for contraband, so he has to serve a county jail sentence before he starts his parole. Temperatures in the 50s, snow at 10,000 feet. This is Colorado in March. We've seen more than 500 avalanches since March 1st. We have more snow coming this week, stacking on top of the already unstable snow there at the base. So STDOT's getting prepared, performing mitigation work again on Loveland Pass over the weekend. And the avalanche equipment that allows them to remotely set off a slide, making sure that works correctly. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson. Mike?
It's a big storm coming, Shannon. Not so much in the next 18 hours or so, but it begins to really kick up late in the day, Tuesday into Wednesday. By Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock, we'll have a low down toward the Four Corners area. By early Wednesday, it's going to move into southeast Colorado, and that brings rain and thunder to the eastern plains, western Kansas, Nebraska. Heavy snow on the colder backside of it, and that does include the I-25 corridor. And by the time we get to midnight Thursday morning, blizzard conditions with roads closed on the far eastern plains. That'll continue into about 6 a.m. on Thursday. The snow will be pretty heavy and wet, mountains and plains. Wednesday morning it'll be rain and maybe some snow mixed on the plains. Then it's all snow by late in the day with that blizzard coming in. 8 to 12 northern mountains, 10 to 18 southwest mountains. And as far as conditions near the Front Range, we're going to see about 8 to 12 inches northeast Colorado, 4 to 8 southeast Aurora, 2 to 4 primarily over the metro up to the north. But the strong winds are going to cause a lot of blowing and drifting. And east of the Denver area, a lot of roads will be closed. So first alert action days. Tuesday, no, 60 degrees, maybe a few showers late. But Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be snow and wind and cold and poor driving conditions, the action days. Good news, it gets out here pretty quick. We are back into the 50s and even 60 over the weekend into early next week.
All right. Thank you, Mike, very much. A tragedy in Fremont County where authorities say a 17-year-old man died while skydiving alone on Sunday. He'd never gone skydiving before. Fremont County officials are investigating, and the skydiving company, High Sky Adventures, is not commenting. Justice for Kaa Campbell, the 10-year-old girl brutally murdered by a 15-year-old boy when they were out walking. And today, that killer, Aiden Zelmer, received a life sentence with a chance of parole in 40 years. The judge told Campbell's family Kaa will not be forgotten. And after today's sentencing, we got our first look at that boy's mugshot. This was taken just days after the murder. He was 15 years old at the time. So Zelmer will stay in juvenile detention until he turns 18. Then he will be moved to state adult prison. The state legislature could exempt marijuana businesses from the Clean Air Act, giving you the green light to spark up inside. A House bill introduced Friday establishes new guidelines for so-called marijuana hospitality businesses. Now, this one has bipartisan support, and it could come up for vote in committee as soon as this week. A Senate committee is debating a bill which allows motorcycle riders to cruise through red lights if the light does not change for 2 minutes. Now, typically it happens when the red light sensors fail to detect a motorcycle. 11 states have similar laws. In Wisconsin, a motorcycle can go on after waiting 45 seconds at a red light. Amazon may have scrapped Broomfield from its plans, but don't think city leaders didn't have a backup. Their backup? Science City. And Broomfield's leaders believe development will rival downtown Denver. Denver 7's Jackie Crea went to check it out.
Development plans have been in the works for the last 10 years, and now with the growth moving north of the metro, along with the highways and the roads, the time is now. But that's a big change for people who moved up here to get away from the hustle and bustle of the big city.
You got a little bit of rural and city all kind of mixing together right here. Tom
LaHouse left Houston to retire in Broomfield a year and a half ago. His view of the mountains is intact, but on the other side, the cranes are popping up one by one.
It's got positives, it's going to have negatives, and it's just part of life.
Broomfield has already started building on the 1.5 million square feet available for commercial development. 6,000 residential multifamily units. It's all in the plans for the Baseline community here, a research park for science-based businesses bound by Highway 7 and I-25. There will be a new STEM K-12 school, shops, restaurants, a new location for the Butterfly Pavilion, plenty of parks and trails. He's looking forward to the shopping, the restaurants, the more vibrant community. But that comes with
downsides, traffic, and noise, light pollution.
It depends on how you look at the next 30 years.
More jobs for people, and it helps Denver grow. Yep. I think it's a good thing.
And for these neighbors, it's glass half full.
If I reach a stage at some point and I need some help, I can move into the assisted living facility they're going to be building right there. Because I hope to spend the rest of my life here.
In Broomfield, Jackie Crea, Denver 7.
And now we want to hear from you. Are you ready for Science City, or are you fed up with all the new construction? Either way, please email us, ourco@thedenverchannel.com, or jump into the conversation on the Denver 7's Facebook page. And this has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thanks for checking us out. Check back later. We'll have another one for you. And download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Shannon Ogden.